black man in America is beyond America's ability to solve. It's a human problem, not an American problem or a Negro problem. And as a human problem or a world problem, we feel that it should be taken out of the jurisdiction of the United States government and the United States courts and taken into the United Nations in the same manner that the problems of the black man in South Africa, Angola, and other parts of the world, and even the way they're trying to bring the problems of the Jews in Russia into the United Nations because of violation of human rights. We believe that our problem is one not of violation of civil rights, but a violation of human rights. Not only are we denied the right to be a citizen in the United States, we're denied the right to be a human being.
My quick honor of the ancestors, but when black people get together, we make sure to pull our ancestors into the room, and we do so by pouring libations. We call on the spirits of our ancestors that are most close to us. I want you to think of your ma dear. I want you to think of that great-grandfather. I want you to think of that favorite uncle. I want you to think of that cousin who really wasn't your cousin, but who you loved like a sibling. And I want you to call on them to come and to drink this wine.
And to those ancestors, those beautiful African people whose names we do not know, but we know we are manifestations of their DNA.
We know that predominantly right now, the word for let it be or so be it by the Yoruba people say Ashe. So what we're going to do is we're going to acknowledge all of the people who have been victims of the U.S. empire, and it's, as we very well know, a process that's continuing to this day.
This first breath we do in unison represents the collectivity that we all get together in the same space. We're here at the same time, and we are here for the same goal. We are connected.
Let your breath help center you, right? Deep breath in, and deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out.
And now I invite you to take a third breath at your own pace and at your own comfort. And as you do that, know that you have agency. Know that although you are part of this big collective, you have unique personal needs, desires, dreams, way of knowing, being, and loving. And we celebrate you. We thank you for being here. We thank you for being here.
Hi, my name is Salima Hankins, and I am the director of UNARC. Our organization was tasked with coordinating the civil society side of the U.S. EMLER visit.
My name is Karen McLean. I'm a human rights lawyer hired by the UN Anti-Racism Coalition, or UNARC, to coordinate civil society engagement with EMLER in 5 of the cities that EMLER will visit this week and next week during its visit to the United States. UNARC was a key player in strategizing behind the scenes for the passage of the Human Rights Council resolution referred to as the George Floyd Resolution, which was a resolution that created EMLER. UNARC now collaborates with the EMLER Secretariat to ensure that EMLER is effective and that its approach centers impacted communities.
So we've gone to Los Angeles, Atlanta, Chicago, Minneapolis, and then we ended in New York.
Watching the video of my nephew being murdered right before my eyes was traumatizing. The criminal justice system would be just as terrorizing as the police officer who murdered my nephew. Oscar Grant was murdered twice. Once by the police officer, and the second murder was by the racist criminal justice system that protected these murders.
I'm like, why are you crying, man? You know? But I've been taken advantage of my whole life.
It hurt.
And they think just because I look the way I look, because I dress the way I dress, I'm in control. No, I'm still on my knees. I'm trying to get to my feet.
That's right.
We were able to see the audio and the video, the audio from the sheriff's belt and the video from the hotel. I heard my son do everything that we tell our young men to do. He was polite, he asked questions, he was not belligerent, but it really didn't matter. Even as he was being beaten, because my son was a kind of big guy, he was bigger than the sheriff, and we were able to prove in court he never struck him once. Even as he was being beaten, I know he was thinking, well, when the beating is over, I'm going to get up and leave, but that did not happen. He kept saying, why are you doing this? What did I do? I could hear my son saying exactly those things that we teach our young men to see, to do. When the 5 o'clock news doesn't show up, when everybody around the world doesn't march for you, then all you can do is get on your knees first and you have to stand second. Because that's and whether the news man shows up or not, that our lives matter, our children's lives matter.
T'as fait effectivement 2 ans, c'est après t'as compris 2 ans, le 19 septembre. Quand moi j'étais sorti dans le matin, moi j'ai acheté manger pour famille là. Mais elle m'a pas étonné, moi je n'ai pas quelques policiers, ça touchait le ballon, ça touche aux machines.
This is a man in uniform on horseback chasing a black person, just as they have done for hundreds of years in these United States of ours.
You know, sometimes I struggle in my mind, in my thoughts. And I always just wonder, my son was alone, and I wonder what were his last words. Did he get a chance to cry out to his grandmother, Elizabeth, asking who he loved very much? Did he get a chance to cry out to his mother, Cynthia, asking who his daddy sees? Or even, did he even get a chance to say a prayer to God? Thank you.
Because when I was 18 years old, I was directly impacted by the school-to-prison pipeline and school policing at my hometown high school, Spring Valley High in Columbia, South Carolina. I and many other black youth, particularly black girls, are survivors of school police violence. On October 26, 2015, I witnessed my younger classmate Shakara being violently flipped while still in her desk, brutally dragged across the floor, and put in handcuffs by resource officer Ben Pills for refusing to hand over a cell phone that she never even had.
According to witness statements, Allen was yelling at the top of his lungs, "I didn't do anything." Massel turned off his lapel camera. He chased Allen 5 city blocks. Allen ran into a driveway of a home screaming, "I didn't do anything." Massel pulled his service weapon. He turned off his lapel camera. He shot himself in the foot. Allen fell to the ground when he heard the gunshot. He was lying on his back. Massel, with his foot bleeding, came over to Allen. He stood above Allen. "He shot my son 3 times in the chest and once through his armpit." Allen's last words were, "I didn't do anything. Why did you shoot me?" Masso radioed in, officer shot, needs assistance.
I'm listening to so many stories and hearing how it's generational affected, how people have been affected from generation to generation. Those are stories that's telling you that my life ain't just my life, it's a shared life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what happens to me not just only affects my life, but it affects my community. That's right.
Man, we love you, George. We love you. We love you, George.
I wish this pain on no mother that have to bury a child because they was killed by somebody that's supposed to serve and protect. They not doing that. They protecting their own self. But if they was serving and protecting, he should have shot my son. Then he died the oath. And they was okay with their life.
I don't even know what justice looks like. And I know there's a lot of language around reimagining policing, but if I'm Frank Chapman say, why would we want to reimagine a nightmare? We are the first city in the country that has oversight over our police department. It is a new position. So we have community commissioners, and we also have district council members, which I am the district council for the 15th police district.
We're talking about protecting black and brown young people. How are you not, protecting black and brown young people, but we're not listening to them when they say, they're killing us out here, they're hurting us out here. Like those notions don't go as far as, 50-foot statue that doesn't really mean anything to us.
These are our realities. These aren't our stories. This is what we live. So with that, I thank you all for taking the time, having the heart to hear from our families.
We will never stop this revolution until we get what we wanted. And what we wanted is what? Justice. Peace and love. That's right. They killed my son around 8 p.m. in the gas station. They came to my home after, I believe it was 12 midnight. There was a gun. And we don't know what happened. And we didn't done anything wrong at all. When they came there, they was collect all of us, the same spot. And they opened, it was really cold. We are in Minnesota and we know it was a winter time, really cold, and it was December 30th. And at that time it became December 31, and it was really cold. They opened a main door wide. And I don't have a t-shirt. I asked them, my children, when they asking them the question, who are you and what you were looking for? You know what? They was threatening us, really scared us. And they have a shield and big guns, and even they don't have a mask. And they would take some wire, a really tight, but they was make us, each of us, all of us. And we don't know what they were looking for.
They talk about transparency, and I talk about this every time I get up on the podium, but they talk about transparency and they've given me nothing. nothing, and they give me their narrative and expect me to fucking believe that shit. Excuse my language, but I'm pissed. I'm pissed. He was my second born child, and he was a beautiful soul. He's got 2 beautiful twin boys that didn't have to grow up without their daddy.
As a child, I was born into a country that deemed my tribe as illegal. As a black person, when I came here, I was then categorized as an illegal entity. People tend to rationalize the abuse incarcerated individuals experience, especially black children. We do this because we want to uphold this idea of law and order. And even when an individual hasn't committed a crime, we still rationalize the abuse. We view individuals not as human beings, but as a threat to the state. I want to emphasize today, we're here listening to testimonies of survivors of tortures.
All the science shows that we are happier, healthier, and we live longer when we are social, have friends and natural human contact and interactions. Putting someone in solitary confinement is inhumane. Putting children in solitary confinement is sick and barbaric.
My mother, Anita Browder, a foster care worker that fostered 32 kids and adopted 7 kids. We were raised in the Bronx, the poorest congressional district in America, and shoved from one system to another, from the foster care system to the public education system, to the welfare system, to the court system, and then to the system of incarceration. Me and Khalid are the bookends of my mother's life.
My sisters who were next to me in those cells, we were all young mothers. We were mothers first. For all my sisters who were next to me in the cells, and for all our children, whether they were with us or on the outside, because my daughter was on the outside, I knew that there was a reason. And one day, I was going to fight that system. The Department of Corrections of New York State, and all departments of corrections, federal and any other state, is a hierarchy of white supremacy designed to incarcerate and keep our people, black people, in bondage, because that's who I saw in there, was us. Was us.
There was a family of officers there, the grandfather, father, and the grandson. On their left arm, tattoos of a black baby in the noose. To emphasize that they smoke Marlboro cigarettes, so they would put the Marlboro pack in their short sleeve shirt and roll it up so you can see. So in the block that I was in, I had to see that morning, noon, and night. Other blocks, other officers had the same tattoo, but in A block, it was a constant.
I cannot overstate the importance I place on myself in advocating for all black people, including black, queer, and trans migrants. As someone with lived experience, I strive to give my community a voice so that they can specifically address the issues impacting their lives and well-being.
No matter how the case looks, don't ever think it's a slam dunk, because it's not like that. No matter what they see, no matter what the officer's record is, it's not a slam dunk. And they can see that your loved one is being literally murdered. But with this, this immunity that the police officers have, the bar is way too high. And I think the bar should be lowered, because our family, the family members should not have to suffer the way that they have. Our loved one, yes, they died once, but the family members, we die a little every day, because we have to live with that.
I guess my question to you, right, to all of us here, can we advance racial justice and law enforcement when that law is enforcing white supremacy?
black bodies actually goes underground, but we want to say that we recognize it. I've heard so many stories of torture, of violence, of dehumanization, that it's very clear that this system cannot be reformed. This system has to be completely abolished, and we need to reinvest those resources into communities. We keep us safe, the police do not keep us safe, and it's really important. For me, that would be the message of this visit.